So this is a video of my 2017 Jeep Renegade. I just had the head unit and satellite radio replaced and retained steering wheel controls and factory computer settings. And I'm going to talk about what I bought and what it looks like. So the first thing I bought was the head unit. You could of course get any head unit you want, but I got this Kenwood primarily because it has Apple CarPlay. So I'm happy with that. I got this Cirrus XM piece with antenna. This is the Maestro, one of the harnesses you need to buy, and you need to buy this because of the steering wheel controls. And then there's this other harness that you need to get, and you need to get this one because of all the factory computer stuff. The part number for this one, if you can at all see that. Don't know if you can see that or not. Here, let's try this instead. There's the key for it. I don't know if it has any other part numbers on it, but that's what this part is. And then this guy here, I don't know that it has, oh, that looks like the part number right there. So the other part that I had to get was the plastic piece that goes over the head unit itself. That little thing that says since 1949 on it gets replaced as part of this installation. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the vehicle. Oh, the satellite radio antenna, I had them mount right there in the back. I think this is a good spot. It's actually magnetic, but because of this roof rail, I don't think it's in any danger of being knocked off. You can move it a little bit, but it's not in any danger of getting knocked off. And I think that roof rail will protect it from any car washing or anything like that. It's run through and then along the side. I already previously have a 10-inch subwoofer, and underneath the tire well here, I have a underneath where the tire goes, I have a single channel amp, but that was done previously. So when I go into the vehicle, this is what it looks like. It definitely sticks out quite a bit further. I'd say about 2 inches further than the old one. And I can tell you that up top here, just behind this bezel, the way the old head unit, and I had the 3-inch non-navigation piece of crap, you know, the one that the satellite radio cuts out every 10 seconds. I had that one, and they had to use a little saw to cut a couple pieces of plastic off of the top, otherwise the head unit wouldn't fit. So it does stick out a little bit further. I'm going to go ahead and start up the vehicle, and you can see what it looks like here. And has a lot of customizable screens. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the head unit that I chose, because clearly you can choose different head units that look completely different. One of the things I have is a little magnetic car mount here, and then I have a little cable is wired down to there. One thing they had to do, and you probably can't see this too well, hold on, let me get my phone out and I'll put the flash on so you can actually see. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. One odd thing that I wish I would have known ahead of time was this little USB that you normally, plug the phone into, because the one here is for charging only. The one that's right here, the other end of that is actually a male mini USB, not even a micro USB, it's a mini USB. And this receiver has a regular USB slot. So I would have need to find a converter that was female mini USB to USB-A. And although you can order it online, the day I was having this wired, I didn't know I needed that. So Car Toys is who did the installation. Just removed the cigarette lighter and just put in another USB where the cigarette lighter 12 volt usually went. So I'm fine with that. So basically that just runs down there, and then I've got a little clip there and a little clip there, and I plug my phone in up here. So let me plug my phone in. And when I plug my phone in, give me a second, I plug my phone in here. I just want to show you what it looks like when I do CarPlay. So I have my phone mounted there. And my little CarPlay button becomes hot. And if I press CarPlay, give it a second. And if I press CarPlay, eventually, there you go. You get all of your CarPlay stuff with your, you know, navigation and your phones and, you know, all kinds of other stuff. But one of the things I wanted to show you was one of the things that this radio has. If I hit gauges, for example, through my head unit, I can see different types of gauges, and that's customizable. So my RPM, how much load is on the engine, miles per hour, all kinds of other stuff. And you can actually change what gauges are here. And you'll notice the trip computer here still works. It actually is telling me what song is playing. And if I scroll down, I've maintained all of my stuff. Like my tire pressure is there. And then if I go here, and I think if I go here, and I go here, and I go to vehicle information, which, hold on, vehicle info. If I hit vehicle info, there's like my tire pressure gauge. And if I hit settings, you can do your check engine alert, your door alert, your tire alerts. These are all the things that you need that Maestro harness for. Otherwise you lose the ability to control any of this. And it'll actually break this car computer stuff too. So the only way to retain that is to get that harness that I just told you about. So I'm pretty pleased with this. Let me go to home. There we go. So I'm pretty pleased. The satellite radio, I can tell you, already works better, because previously it wouldn't work in my garage, but I'm on satellite radio right now, and clearly it's working right now. So I'm really thrilled with the way the install looks. It does stick out a bit further. Quite a bit further, maybe 2 inches, maybe 1.5 inches further. So just be aware that it's going to stick out a little bit further. One thing that you gain is this little slot right here, which is big enough to put like a wallet in or something like that. And this is a, I think it's, I forget the brand, but if you look for, you have to get this. I think there's other models, but that's what you get. Again, I chose this head unit mostly because of the CarPlay feature, but there's a million others that have CarPlay. But I also knew from someone else's video that that this particular one kept all the vehicle settings in a way that are easy to get to, and everything else. So again, I was able to also keep my steering wheel controls. For example, if I hit this button here, it brings up my brings up that. If I hit this button, it'll bring up Siri when I'm in that mode, and then I can hang up as well. When I don't have, let me see, it also has Bluetooth. They had to wire a Bluetooth microphone, which they put right there. It's a directional mic, which they put right there. I also have a hardwired radar detector, and I actually have a front and rear dash camera as well. So I actually have quite a few different pieces of electronics hooked up. So there it is. The hardware itself, cost about $550, $600. And at the end of the day, after the wiring and everything else, they charged me about $400 for that. So this was about $1,000, which if you think about it is like freaking 5% of the vehicle itself, which is kind of crazy. But I'm very happy with the satellite radio reception. I don't get that acquiring signal. I didn't get it at all on the way home, and normally I probably would have gotten it 4 or 5 times on the way home. I'm very pleased with the radio that I chose. Again, it's the Kenwood DMX 7704S, which is I don't know, I want to say it's about if you can find it on sale, about between a $400 and $500 radio. I got it from Amazon for about $400. It's got all the features and functions that you can want. You can even add nav to it, but with Apple CarPlay, I don't need nav. So again, super thrilled with the way it looks. You can see it from different angles. And of course you can customize the background. Again, I don't want to go too much into this particular head unit because I think you could pretty much do any head unit you want. The important thing is now that Maestro came out with those harnesses, you can retain your factory settings, your ability to get in and set all of your door alarms and all these other alarms and tire pressures without losing any of that, because that was all in the old head unit. The only thing I wished I knew sooner was, in order to retain that factory USB, you need to be able to convert a male mini USB into a standard USB-A that plugs into a laptop kind of a port. So it needs to be female mini on one side, and then male standard USB, just like a thumb drive or any other cable would be, on the other side, and that would allow you to use that factory one. I just happen to not have it and not feel like waiting for it. So if anyone has any questions about this video or wants me to go into more detail about what was involved, let me know. I choose Car Toys in the Denver area of Colorado to do the installation. It sounds, I mean, the actual taking apart of this, because I watched him do it, was simple. The only thing that was complicated was figuring, because you literally have a harness with probably 30 wires coming out of it, and you have to have a wiring diagram to know what gets tapped into what, and that I wasn't gonna figure that out. I mean, maybe if I spent a week on it, I could have figured it out. But if you want to get all this done for about $550 instead of $1,000, then that's the way to do it. If you're so technically inclined. I'm not. So the whole thing was about $1,000. I would say that it sounds pretty much the same. I think the output from this is slightly better. The other thing that I have is the backup camera was retained. So there is my backup camera. The other thing that I noticed is so this is by pressing the camera button here. If I actually put it in reverse, it retained those lines. Those lines don't move when I move the steering wheel left or right. I don't remember whether or not the lines moved previously. So that's that. I think that's everything. So let me know what you think. If you have any other questions. Again, this is what it looks like.